When foreign state television starts mocking a former first lady using her own nude photos on loop, you know something's cracked.
So right now, Russia, it's weaponizing Melania's past. I don't know if you know this, but on Russian TV, they frequently show Melania nude in order to mock Donald Trump. So they show all these photos of Melania. By the way, Melania's previously made posts about how proud she is of her nudes, but did you know that after Donald Trump and Melania met, she got what was called an Einstein visa? She was treated like a genius, an exceptional achievement visa that gave her a fast track to become a United States citizen.
Russian television just pulled the curtain back on something Donald Trump has spent years trying to bury. They aired Melania's nude photos on state TV in prime time as a direct shot at him, and they didn't hold back. For Trump, it wasn't just an embarrassment, it was a collapse. Because when your enemies know exactly where the cracks are, it means the mask is slipping. Everything in this video is based on public records, verified interviews, and factual reporting.
Trump was a frequent passenger on Epstein's plane, known as the Lolita Express, and Epstein told author Michael Wolff the first time he slept with Melania was on my plane.
And that is how I met your mother, Baron. Any questions? I'll tell you, next time you're on a flight with a crying baby, just think about how much worse it could be.
That moment landed like a punchline, but the names behind it were no joke. Epstein, Wolff, Melania, and Trump tangled together not in a love story, but in something that sounds more like a casting call than courtship. And if that's how the relationship started, it raises one uncomfortable question. Was this ever about love or just logistics? If you're starting to question how first ladies get chosen, hit subscribe because this goes deeper than fairy tales.
Donald Trump went to a club in Manhattan called the Kit Kat Club, where there were parties that were frequently thrown for very rich Manhattan elites, businessmen, to mingle and find very young models from Eastern Europe. And Melania was a model from Eastern Europe who was brought to the United States, who would attend these parties where the rich men would show up and mingle with the models.
So when the cameras showed roses and diamonds, the real story began with velvet ropes and imported resumes. Kit Kat Club wasn't exactly a fairy tale ballroom, and Melania didn't just stumble into Trump's orbit. She was placed there, like everyone else in the room, for a reason.
They were linked by someone named Paolo Zampoli, who's become an ambassador under Donald Trump, a high-ranking government official. And the article goes on to say how Paolo secured Miss Trump's visa to the United States and introduced her to her future husband at a 1998 party he hosted at the Kit Kat Club. Mr. Zampoli's parties have featured an alligator, tiger cubs, and models at nightclubs blowing kisses at fashion television cameras.
Forget fate or fireworks. Melania didn't bump into Trump at a bookstore or a gala. She was introduced by a modeling agent turned diplomat at a nightclub filled with exotic animals and cameras. That wasn't destiny. That was casting.
And now Russia's out there posting those photos of Melania's nudes that she got an Einstein visa for. So you could... That's how Donald met Melania. That's how they got married at the Kit Kat Club, right around all that time period.
From nightclub to genius visa, from modeling shoots to political power. And if you think that was coincidence, don't go anywhere. This is where it gets ruthless.
Did you know that after Donald Trump and Melania met, she got what was called an Einstein visa? She was treated like a genius, an exceptional achievement visa that gave her a fast track to become a United States citizen. She then used her citizenship to bring in her family members, a policy that Donald Trump is blocking, and that Donald Trump would send people like that, I guess if their skin color was brown or black, to concentration camps in the Everglades called Alligator Alcatraz.
So while Trump roared on stage about merit-based immigration, his own path to love, or whatever this was, ran straight through a velvet-lined shortcut. Melania didn't wait in line. She soared past it with a genius visa, the kind normally reserved for Nobel winners or Olympic athletes.
Then Melania got her family citizenship. Melania Trump used a legal pathway that her husband and his top advisors has repeatedly disparaged as chain migration, the right of U.S. citizens to bring their parents to the United States. Federal law since 1965 has said U.S. citizens may apply to bring minor children and parents to join them in the United States without having to wait a long time for a visa. Citizens may sponsor siblings and adult children, but they typically wait longer for visas. Okay, so Melania gets the expedited path based on an Einstein visa after meeting Donald Trump at the Kit Kat Club. Then she brings in her family, and now Donald Trump's against all of those same policies.
Melania didn't just get a green card, she got the golden escalator treatment. And while Trump yelled no more chain migration, she used hers like a VIP pass, parents in, spotlight on, questions off. It's not that the rules don't apply, it's that they bend when the optics sparkle. And in this case, genius wasn't in her resume, it was in the marketing. But she didn't stop at the visa. She turned the whole thing into a business. And if you think that's where it peaks, you haven't seen the price tag.
Now Melania pretty much just grifts. You know, she has her meme grift, which the meme coin crashed. She sells her book, Why Do I Stand Proudly Behind My Nude Modeling Work. Melania was with her personal stylist, Pierre Brallard, who's paid about $18,000 a month. Her stylist gets paid $18,000 a month from Trump's PAC.
Some people write books to tell their story. Melania wrote one to defend her nudes and priced it like a Prada clutch. Her stylist makes more in a month than most supporters make in a year, paid straight from the political PAC. If the First Lady role was ever about grace or service, this one came with a price tag, and apparently, it sparkles.
She's gotten paid $155,000 for doing speaking engagements for Donald Trump. You know, she shows up at a location, she sits at a location, she gets paid $155,000 for doing that. You know, and, you know, I guess one of the questions as well, she sells the Meta Rose, this photo, it's a digital photo that she sells for $150. I mean, I guess when Donald Trump calls his supporters stupid, I guess anybody buying a $150 digital image of a Meta Rose, I don't even know what that means is, you know, what.
Should the First Lady represent the people or just profit off them? Drop your thoughts in the comment. So Melania doesn't need to give a speech, just show up, sit down, and cash $155,000. And for those who want more, she's selling $150 digital roses. No meaning, no message, just a PNG and a smile. While Trump attacks political grifters, his own campaign cash is paying for exactly that. The grift just comes in designer heels. The face that sold 150 roses also sold something bigger, Trump's innocence. She didn't just smile for the brand, she shielded the scandals. And what she excused next? That's when it really gets wild. It's all based on public clips, real statements, and confirmed reporting.
Donald Trump was caught on video bragging about sexually assaulting women and grabbing women by their genitals. And he says, because if you're rich, they let you do it. She said that's locker room talk and that she was okay with it. Here, play this clip.
He described it as locker room talk. Mm-hmm. To you, I mean, you sort of alluded to that as well. Is that what it is to you, just locker room talk?
Yeah, it's kind of two teenage boys. Actually, they should behave better, right?
He was 59.
Correct. And sometimes I said, I have two boys at home. I have my young son and I have my husband. So, but I know how some men talk, and that's how I saw it. Yes.
He bragged about grabbing women. She shrugged and said, "Boys will be boys." At 59, on tape. And then she doubled down, telling the world she had 2 boys at home, one in middle school and the other, apparently, running for president. That wasn't just damage control. It was a masterclass in downplaying scandal with a soft accent and a stiff smile. While the world cringed, Melania cleaned it up with charm. And just like that, assault became antics, and the Access Hollywood tape turned into nothing more than background noise.
Birther conspiracies against former President Obama. She was used by Donald Trump frequently to go and attack Obama.
She could have said no. She could have said it was beneath her. But instead, Melania joined in fanning the flames of the racist birther conspiracy.
But what is this with the birth certificate obsession? Did he ask to see yours when you met him?
I needed to put mine anyway, because if you want to become an American citizen, you need to put the birth certificate.
Right.
I have a birth certificate from Slovenia. And do you want to see President Obama birth certificate or not?
I've seen it. It's
not a birth certificate.
Well, it's a certificate of live birth,
Right,
which they get. But Melania, if he insists on what he's saying, then no one in Hawaii can ever run for president, because they all get the same live birth certificate.
Well, but they need to have...
Midler is finished, for example.
They need to have, and in one way, it will be very easy if President Obama just show it. And because it's not only Donald who wants to see it, it's American people who voted for him and who didn't vote for him. They want to see that.
But it's on display in Chicago.
She showed up with her Slovenian birth certificate and questioned the President of the United States. Melania, who got an Einstein visa for reasons still unknown, stared into the camera and said Obama's papers weren't real. That's right. Melania became Trump's most elegant attack ad. And somehow, the woman whose own accent got mocked by birthers was suddenly their spokeswoman. She sold the brand. She sold the silence. But when the Stormy Daniels scandal exploded, Melania didn't flinch at betrayal. She flinched at someone else stealing her spotlight.
Melania saw Stormy Daniels in Vogue. Here, play this clip. Around the time when you released the best-selling book, Melania and Me, there was that audio recording where Melania was livid that Stormy was going to be on the cover of Vogue or in Vogue, and she was calling her like a porn star hooker, and she was saying that to you. They're putting the porn star in the front, and this is so embarrassing. So she's always been humiliated by the Stormy ordeal.
Forget broken vows. What truly shattered Melania was Stormy Daniels landing Vogue. While Trump battled hush money headlines, Melania waged her own quiet war for centerfold dominance. In the Trump household, it seems betrayal is forgivable. Bad lighting and second billing, unforgivable.
Do you think that added to the torment of Melania just knowing her?
I don't think Melania understands torment, as crass as that sounds, and as sad as that sounds. I'll never forget, and I shared the audio with you. Melania did. She called me and she goes, Anna Winter, editor-in-chief of Vogue magazine, put the porn hooker in Vogue. Now, I was like, what? She said she shot the porn hooker. And I didn't know what she was talking about. And you hear my reaction. And in that reaction, Melania's only concern was that Vogue was actually profiling Stephanie Clifford, Stormy Daniels, not anything about the fact that the conversation in everyone's households was that Donald was having an affair with Stormy Daniels at the time.
Stormy wasn't just the other woman, she was the featured woman. And that apparently was the real betrayal. While most wives would demand answers, Melania demanded cover placement. Because in Trump world, infidelity is negotiable, but losing the spotlight, that's war. And her next moment in the spotlight wasn't about money. It was about words. Familiar ones. From another first lady.
Of the same
values that you work hard for what you want in life.
For what you want in life.
That your word is
that your
bond.
word is your bond. That you do what you say you're going to do.
Keep your promise.
That you treat people.
That you treat people
with dignity and respect. And because we want our children and all children in this nation to know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
Melania once said she believes in working hard for what you want. And clearly, what she wanted was Michelle Obama's speech. The 2016 RNC moment didn't just raise eyebrows, it raised questions about originality, branding, and just how far the First Lady image could be franchised. Because if imitation is flattery, this one came with a press team.
And of course, Melania would plagiarize Michelle Obama's speech at the Democratic National Convention. Literally, Melania's speech during Trump's first Republican National Convention was literally copy and pasted of Michelle Obama's speech.
But in the world of Trump, no scandal stands alone. Because as Melania's image begins to crack, so does the empire she's tied to. Stay with us, what's coming next doesn't just expose Melania, it unravels the whole brand.
Since day one, they've been inseparable. If you don't count the 6 months she stayed in New York while she reportedly renegotiated her prenup. But after that, it was a love story for the ages. Those ages being a hot 50 and, 97? During their time in the White House, Melania and Donald were often seen taking long, romantic walks, holding hands, trying to hold hands, and refusing to hold hands. Yes, you could always see the look of fiery passion whenever Melania was at her husband's side, and it's easy to see why.
From holding hands to dodging fingers, the Trump fairy tale is starting to look more like a blooper reel than a brand strategy. Once the ultimate power couple, now Melania's role has morphed from First Lady to first line of defense, not just for Donald's image, but her own fading market value. Because nothing says romance like negotiating your prenup while skipping the White House move-in, right?
He's able to compartmentalize so completely and so utterly, uncaringly. There is no... She knows who she married, and he knows who he married. She knows what she got into, and she knows what she gets from this marriage. And that's more important than anything.
Melania didn't break down. She compartmentalized. She knew the deal, and as long as the brand kept her in diamonds and Dior, the rest could be filed under not her problem. But here's the catch. Even the best PR strategy can't survive a collapsing product. And when the Trump name started rotting from the inside, no icy smile or Be Best banner could hold the cracks together.
Now you know who has been bragging all over the campaign trail about how he's the one that overturned Roe v. Wade. But apparently, his wife has different thoughts on the reproductive rights after posting this video plugging her memoir. Take a look.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
A campaign against online bullying while her husband practically invented it in 280 characters. The more she smiled in silence, the louder the contradictions screamed. As Trump's scandals dragged the family name through every tabloid in America, Melania's carefully curated image of aloof elegance began to fracture.
You see, she's not just the stepmom of these 4 little boss babies. She's the nation's stepmom, there for America every other weekend and on holidays. So when she saw the bullying epidemic that was tormenting the country, she stepped forward with a grammatically courageous initiative.
Today, I'm very excited to announce Be Best, an awareness campaign dedicated to the most valuable and fragile among us.
And no slogan, no Christmas decoration, no speech written in secondhand Michelle could stop what was coming. The brand was cracking, and she was right at the fault line.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady. anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly, that's why.
While Trump scrambles to protect what's left of his legacy, Melania seems more focused on avoiding eye contact, Christmas lights, and shared oxygen. The woman once framed as his silent pillar now avoids the man like he's a bad decorating idea and Sonny's take? She's not First Lady material anymore. She's the quiet architect of her own soft divorce, staged one poinsettia at a time.
Melania also went into detail about her favorite moment as First Lady.
People always asking me, what was your favorite memory as First Lady? It was in 2020 when Donald get the China virus and he was airlifted to hospital like sick elephant. Darren and I threw party on back lawn. We danced around giant bonfire and shot fire cookers at Mike Pence. I had Lincoln bedroom all to myself and did not sleep wink. Too many smiling. Sadly, the elephant make it.
Humpy time.
Oh. Elephant find me.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe this is why Donald and Melania sleep in separate bedrooms. She was laughing too hard at my monologue at night.
After everything, the nude photos, the stormy tantrum, the birther campaign, the plagiarized speech, what finally pierced the Trump brand might not be an indictment or a protest sign. It might be Melania quietly laughing at a monologue while sleeping in a different wing of the house. Because when the woman you built your brand on starts mocking your downfall from the Lincoln bedroom, it's no longer just political, it's personal and painfully public. From international headlines to private eye rolls, this wasn't just a story about Melania's silence. It was about the calculated, curated role she played in shaping the Trump myth. What began with Russian TV resurrecting old nude photos became a deeper unraveling of a first lady who wasn't just complicit, but strategic. Through scandals, speeches, and even separate bedrooms, Melania helped uphold a brand now buckling under its own contradictions. And whether you see her as a loyal partner or a quiet architect of her own survival, one thing is clear. In the Trump saga, image isn't just everything, it's the last thing standing. This video covers a televised segment where Russian TV channels aired content about Melania Trump, which has been widely discussed in the media. All content shown is based on verified footage and reputable sources. We aim to reflect the facts and public reactions accurately, without exaggeration or distortion. This video complies fully with YouTube's community guidelines and fair use policy for political commentary, media analysis, and public interest. If you found this video insightful or engaging, feel free to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.